live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, how public art can enrich a community. Quad City Arts is here to tell us more about its public sculpture program.
And a local business that wants you to love the skin you're in by giving it the attention it deserves. We'll take a closer look at the services offered at Bespoke Beauty and Body.
And later, a wireless provider that's encouraging all of us to put our phones down. US Cellular is here with tips to avoid distracted driving.
It is Tuesday, June 25th, and you're watching Quad Cities Live. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier alongside my co-host Kyle Keel. And well, it is summer break, and our local libraries are keeping families engaged with a variety of events and activities.
Yeah, Kaylee Floyd is joining us from the Robert R. Jones Library located in Cole Valley, Illinois. Kaylee, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, so a lot of times when you're on the show, we focus on what kids can do at the library, but there's a lot of things that teens and adults can do as well. So we're going to focus on them a little bit today. So let's talk about some of the activities with the teens. You've got a little treasure trove box that they can participate in this summer.
Yeah, so we did one at the beginning of the month for June, and now our July one is open for registration.
All right.
So it's down here at the end of this yellow box.
Yeah.
And they get to fill out a form, and then we pick a book based on what their interests are and what they fill out on their form. This month's theme is adventure, so a lot of the trinkets, snacks are all themed around that. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this
Happy trails and
one.
tales to you. This is trail mix. That's fun. That's a little fun there.
Yeah.
A tiny little key chain flashlight.
Yes.
Which can really come in handy.
Yeah.
And then it kind of also simultaneously goes with our bingo card that we have new for our teens. Each month they'll get a new bingo card to do throughout the summer.
Oh, that's fun. Reading
20 minutes and then doing different activities at our library too.
That's really, really fun. And they just have to register for that.
It's on our website. For under the teen area, you can find this treasure trove, but it's also on our main banner as well, open for registration.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, something else cool. Beyond the Jacket Art Workshop.
Oh yes, I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and I think summer is the best time for it. So it's right here. This is our sample one that I made. Basically, it's whatever their favorite book is that they're going to turn into a little hidden treasure box. So if you open it, you'll see that there's like a little cutout.
Oh, that's
And then I kind of made mine Hobbit themed, so that's why it's all decked out like that. But it's not actually the Hobbit. It's just a book, one of our discarded books. And so we're recreating it, Mod Podging it. Yeah, it's a fun project.
Awesome. So they can put little secret things in there.
And they're going to design the cover and everything. So.
Oh wow, that's really, really fun. Beyond the Jacket, that's what that one is called. It's an art workshop. And then all these crochet programs.
I mean, we hear crocheting. That's becoming, I feel like, more and more popular, especially with some of the younger crowds as well.
Yeah, so we've had a high demand actually from, we had a regular knitting and crochet group that meets on Monday mornings, but that's only going to get a very small amount of people that are available at that time. So we opened it up to like a Saturday class or Saturday group that can meet. And then we also have a beginner one for adults called Hooked. And then a beginning one for teens.
Not crafters.
Not crafters, because we're not exactly skilled at it. Here's one example.
That's cute.
We're starting out with our teens, and then we're kind of building, and hopefully making some bookmarks and some of these little cutie guys up here as well.
I was going to say, this probably isn't a beginner's project here, but
you would be surprised.
Really?
Actually, one of my coworkers made that, and she just started like a couple weeks ago.
I'm impressed. I mean, that looks,
it's pretty easy to pick up.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Okay, and then you talked about the Saturday one, which is Weave and Relax Community Club.
Yes, that one's kind of more like you come hang out in our meeting room space, bring your projects, and get tips from each other, and in a relaxing environment.
So you can kind of work on what you want as well?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And you include programs, like we mentioned, for everyone. So you've got a memory-focused one that's for people who might have Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yes.
Something that they can enjoy as well.
Right, them and their caregivers. So it's kind of something for them to kind of meet with other people that are like similar, and their person with memory challenges can do different crafts and activities, and these are some of the ones like watercolor, puzzles. We have some feeling things, we'll have a couple of picture things to kind of help with like recognizing certain areas that might trigger something. But then it's also a nice place for the caregivers also to connect with other people and maybe give tips and help each other, and just building that, you know, community within them as well.
Yeah, that is so important. So the Memory Oasis, that's going to be huge for a lot of people. As you mentioned, for the folks that are struggling with dementia, but also those caretakers who just oftentimes they need that break or that other person to talk to that kind of knows what it's like.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great spot. Okay, I see a lot of stickers here. So you guys are doing a kids sticker swap?
That sounds fun.
We did that in the spring as well, and it was a big hit. We do a little scavenger hunt around the library with different stickers, and then we did a diamond art sticker that they can make on their own. So it's tons of fun, and kids have a great time swapping, and then they like to donate to me as well, so I got a good stash now from the last time.
I was gonna say, you got a lot there in front of us.
This is just a little bit of what I have. So yeah, it'll be tons of fun.
Okay, is there a particular age group or anything that you guys...
No, it's pretty much could be, generally it's more that elementary age, but toddlers can come, teens can come. It's up to them. It's whoever is really enthusiastic about stickers.
Yes, absolutely.
And then for the adults, we've got the Fiber Arts series. So explain a little bit about that.
So that one is, that one is for our adults. We usually do creative crafters, but in the summer we're doing a couple different things for the Fiber Arts series. They just did, this next one's going to be embroidery. They just did cross stitch, and then there's one more after that too. So that one's being led by someone that we had come in from outside of the library, and she did a great job. This was the first project that they did, an example of it.
Wow.
So
I was going to ask you, I mean, who leads all of these classes?
Some of us are just kind of learning as we go, but we also get help from community and other involvement with other organizations too.
Yeah.
So
you guys just have so much going on at the library. Lots of really fun stuff for all ages.
Yeah, and you got a lot of support from the community as well. So obviously there is plenty more to do than what we just talked about at the library. So if you want to learn more, you can visit robertrjoneslibrary.org. Kaylee, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Looks like a lot of fun. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well, still to come on QCL, there are dozens of new sculptures placed across the Quad Cities as part of QC Art's public sculpture program. We'll see some of those sculptures and learn more about the initiative next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Art in every corner. It's a mission come to life for Quad City Arts, as there are 30 new sculptures placed in specific locations across the Quad Cities. Joining me from QC Arts is Don Wolford Metallo and Abby Concusin. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for being here. Lots to talk about today, as always with QC Arts, right? We definitely always have a lot going on and a lot to partake in. But Don, first describe the public sculpture program. This has been in place for a very long time.
It has. So right now we're working with the 4 Quad Cities. So those were kind of the original, and then we've added Clinton and DeWitt. So the sculpture program, each city has its own art committee or commission, and they we present them with all the sculptures that are available for the coming year, and they go through it with their own committees and choose the ones that they think are best for their community.
Wow, okay.
And then we facilitate putting them in, taking out last year's sculptures, and getting everything set up properly and documented.
Well, and Don, this year you guys facilitated a record number of sculptures from what I understand.
Yes.
You've roughly 30?
30, yep.
Okay, wow. So why did you guys decide to take on a little bit bigger of a project this year? You said, you know, typically you were focused on, you know, the four cities. Now you've added Clinton and DeWitt. What does it mean to kind of expand in that way?
Well, I think it's really exciting for those cities that are smaller and don't have the manpower to assign somebody this task, and a lot of people don't know where to begin. We're already doing it. We already have relationships with a lot of the sculptors. We already know what we need as far as, you know, if it weighs a certain amount, we might need a crane, we might need a forklift. So we already have all those skills and connections. So it's a lot easier for them to just come to us and say, help us out, we want.
Guide us in getting this started for our community. Abby, what would you say this public art program really provides for our communities?
I mean, public art is very important. It gives people the opportunity to see really good pieces of work, regardless of their location or their class status, anything like that.
Yeah. So how are the sculptures chosen, or where do they come from? Because they're not all local, they're from all over, correct?
Right. So we put out a call for entry. We have a database of artists that we've already worked with, and then we just add to that anybody who has a sculpture that would like to participate.
Okay.
So they send us the pictures of the ones that they have and all the information about it, how much it weighs, how tall is it, how big is it, because all those things matter. And then the committees are the ones who get together and really decide which one's right for them.
The installation process also sounds like it's pretty neat. I mean, to go out and see. And Abby, the artists themselves, they have the opportunity to be involved in that installation process.
Yeah, most of the time they are. It's really fun seeing the process from start to finish. We usually have to drill into concrete.
Yeah.
Sometimes we use cranes.
Yeah.
It's a whole ordeal.
It's a whole ordeal, but that just kind of makes it even more exciting, you know, to have that new special thing in a community. So as far as the sculptures are concerned, what happens to them next year when this whole program kind of renews?
Well, we just start the whole thing over. We'll have a fresh batch of sculptures that are available. A lot of these artists are there are other communities in the Midwest and in the whole United States. So they're actually driving all over the place, picking one up, putting one down.
Right.
So there's this big scramble that happens in the springtime and early summer. And so they will give us the ones that they're going to have available. And then again, the committees will choose.
Okay.
And then it's a big process for me, a huge spreadsheet of this one has to get taken out before this one can go in, and just working out the.
What a process.
Yes.
Can people buy them? Like, I mean,
yes.
Okay, so if somebody sees it and they're like, I need to have that, or if a city thinks it's so special that they want to keep it where it is, so they can purchase it through the artist.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So there's also a new art exhibition, and it's opening this Friday, Abby. So it's going to be at the Quad City Arts Gallery. Talk about the artists that are involved in this exhibition.
Yeah, this time we have Chantal Danyluk and Kate Goodman. They're both very talented contemporary artists. Chantal has these really cool cutout paintings, and Kate does a lot of screen printing.
Okay. Okay. I think we have some video of some of what they do, or at least the gallery here. So you guys have chosen these two artists to take part in this exhibition, and it goes until August, which is super exciting. But you do have that reception happening on Friday, correct?
Right.
So people can just show up to that. What happens at the reception?
Well, it's free, open to the public, and both of the artists will be there, which is really nice. So if people want to ask questions, get to know the artists, get a little more insight into how they do their work, this is the opportunity to do that.
Okay, and their work, from what I read, pairs very well together. So when you have these two artists that are both, you know, taking up this space, they kind of thematically seem to go together, right, with what their art is all about.
And that's kind of part of our process for we do a call for entry once a year.
Okay.
And we have a 250-mile radius, so any artist living within that region can apply. And then we have a committee of local art teachers and artists in the Quad Cities, and they are doing the scoring and voting on those.
Wow.
And then the highest ranking artists will get shows. But Abby and I sit down together and look at the highest scoring pieces, and we decide, well, this one goes good with this one.
That's great.
This one goes good with that one, and we put the shows together from the selections.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and it takes a lot, I mean, to put together and to just judge these different pieces and kind of gauge what the community is going to get out of it, because ultimately they're going to see something new and different when they come into this gallery. I mean, just reading about these artists, it sounds like they have some really cool, beautiful pieces.
Yes.
So, okay, well, for a complete list of sculptures, even their locations in those 6 communities, or to learn more about the upcoming art exhibition at the gallery, we told you that reception is Friday night. Just visit quadcityarts.com. Don and Abby, thank you so much for being here today and talking all about it. lots to look forward to.
Yes.
Thank you. Coming up on Quad Cities Live, treatments that have your skin looking and feeling younger. We'll learn more about the non-invasive services offered at Bespoke Beauty and Body next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Bespoke Beauty and Body is a spa located in the village of East Davenport, offering a fresh approach to traditional spa treatments. And here to tell us more about those services is owner Nazreen Khan. Nazreen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. I know just a lot of folks out there are going to be interested in these services that you have to offer. Before we get there, though, tell us a little bit about the spa itself, where it's located, and just kind of what people will feel when they walk in.
Yeah, so Bespoke Beauty and Body is kind of a broad service day spa located in the heart of the East Village on the second floor inside of 5-Star Salon. We specialize in skin, truly. You know, that's easy because that's what I do. We also do a lot of eyelash extensions and other lash services, and then massage is a big part of our practice.
Yes.
I think we're kind of known for our really hands-on, like, untouched customer service, and I think you can just expect to get great results with a lot of helpful spirits in the business.
Yeah, and that kind of takes us to the name of the spa, Bespoke. Talk about how that relates to the business model that you have so carefully created.
Well, you know, ever since I became an esthetician, I didn't have any mentoring. I just was kind of like on my own, figuring it out. And what I kind of did intuitively was sort of customize everything that I did for the client based on them as a unique individual.
Yep.
And I realized that that seems to work and yield good outcomes and happy clients. And so really we challenge our team to develop those skills in listening and evaluating and analyzing, so that way they're able to deliver a custom-made or bespoke treatment to each client each and every time.
Yes, yeah, customer care and understanding.
Yes.
It's a huge part of your business model. Okay, so we're going to start with the body in Bespoke Beauty and Body. You just alluded to, you offer therapeutic massages.
Yes.
There's a lot there. I mean, just going on your website earlier today, there's a lot of options for people.
Yes, yes. So our massage is called the Bespoke Therapeutic Massage. It is designed to be therapeutic. Our staff really, they do listen to everybody based on the concerns of the given day. So they'll do full-length classic massages, pressure based on your liking,
yes,
as well as we have other modalities that help kind of facilitate that sort of clinical result that people are looking for, because
yes,
I think most people are coming because, you know, they have other ways to relax these days, and it certainly is relaxing, but people really want those results.
Yes, they do. As you mentioned, you're extremely skin focused,
yes,
so we want to get to that and how that translates into the services that you offer. So even as far as booking a facial,
yeah,
that's going to be very custom.
Yes. Yes, every facial that a client will book, whether you're new or not, we typically book it out as our bespoke facial. What that does is it grants, for example, me and the client 90 minutes of uninterrupted time where we get to tailor create your facial,
yes,
based on what you need that given day, and we consider other things. You know, maybe some days we can do a peel, maybe somebody has an event so we can't do a peel this time, but we'll just get after it in that 90 minutes that we're allotted and to give you the best outcomes possible.
I think it's great the way that you do all of this, because I think when people are booking something like this and they don't know anything about it, it can be kind of scary. So they're like, well, I'll just book a facial.
Yeah.
But you do offer all of these other options and other services. So medical grade skincare, you talked about a peel. So who would that be good for?
Yeah, peels can be good for everybody. It can be, we have light to medium to kind of medium deep for the aesthetic world, and then we'll get into PRX, of course, because that's a little bit different from a standard peel. If I ever am just a little bit congested and I just need a little refresh, I can throw on a 40% glycolic, no peeling or flaking. And we also have some peels that go quite deep that you will actually have more shedding, but in, you know, after 5 days of peeling, you have completely new
amazing
skin.
results.
Yeah, it's really,
absolutely new skin. Okay, so you have a new product that you are offering. It sounds to be amazing. This PRX.
PRX Derm Perfection, yes. I had my eye on it for like 5 years. I'm always looking for things that will go well with the services that we already have. You know, a lot of these things are very complementary. So PRX is, they hold an international patent. It was originally created by an Italian dermatologist who was looking for ways to treat facial scarring in children. So it is gentle enough to be applied to a child's skin.
Wow, okay.
But it goes deep, deep, deep into that dermis and basal layer, so you get unmatched results with literally no downtime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big part of it, you know, for folks. They're like, well, I can't just sit at home or hide for a couple of days.
Yes, and bless the people that can, and you know, we've got things for them too. But I find that the majority of people, and it also, you know, it seems that COVID really did end, and ever since that, people do not have time to take 5 days off work. They have to get after it. So PRX, I said, that's it, we're doing it now. Now we're, you know, it's now or never. Not now or never, I would have eventually gotten it anyway, but I was like, now we're doing it, because so many people, they are after those results. And my clientele, nobody's actually getting younger. Everybody's aging, and so
none of us are.
Yeah, we need more corrective things. And
the process for this as well. Share a little bit about that, because we even have a kind of video that shows people and takes us through it.
Yes, so PRX is made from 33% TCA, or trichloroacetic acid, 5% kojic acid, and hydrogen peroxide. So what we do is we apply little bits to the face in sections, and then I have to apply 5 pounds of pressure to the skin, because I'm trying to actually drive it in the skin instead of having it evaporate. Wow. And so you do this in layers, and you'll see when it's penetrated, because the skin will kind of plump up and look really dewy, and then we move on. And so you do this approximately 3 layers on the perimeter, couple layers on gentler areas, and again, one treatment, and you'll have
notice it.
Yes, instant glow, tightening, brightening. I mean, I've even had clients just because they went out to dinner that night and people noticed, like, what did you do to your skin? And they were on like
You're glowing.
Yeah, they were on their like first or second treatment, and so it really does sell itself. But the results are cumulative to get that where you want to move the needle.
Right, how many should we?
Yeah, the typical treatment plan is 4 to 6 to start. And I always say, you know, don't expect to see changes before 3. Some people do, but I always say after that 3rd one, and we probably had like close to 50 clients sign up between March and May, and we really, it was almost like textbook. After that 4th treatment, we start seeing the needle move.
That's great. You're right. It's when you get those results, it does sell itself.
Yes.
Now, before we run out of time with you, you have kind of a fun announcement for anybody that's watching this show right now. So tell us about your Summer Glow event.
Yes. So PRX does not require a discount. As I said, it sells itself, but we are doing a 1-day only special this July on the 18th. It's our Summer Glow experience. We are selling tickets for $199. That's going to include an actual treatment on the day of.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of swag, prizes for a huge giveaway, and premier pricing that just people that attend the event will have access to. So
that's great.
Mega discounts, 1 day only.
That is awesome. On the 18th.
On July 18th.
Mark your calendars, everyone. And to learn more about the other services offered, from massages to skin treatments, you're going to want to visit the website right there on your screen. That's BespokeBeautyandBody.com. Nazarene, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you
so much for coming today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Still to come on QCL, turns out there is a relationship between diabetes and hearing loss. We'll learn more when we sit down with Concept by Iowa Hearing after the break.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
More and more people are being diagnosed with diabetes, and one of the negative side effects of diabetes is actually hearing loss. Taylor Parker of Concept by Iowa Hearing is here with us now. Taylor, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So actually there is a strong relationship between diabetes and hearing loss, and I think a lot of people would be surprised by that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, hearing loss is one of those things that people have always wanted to put on the side, that it's something I'll have to do when I get older.
Right.
That it's one of those things that I'm okay now, or, oh, I get by, or I don't hear very well, but it's okay. I'll, you know, when I get older, I'm not quite ready for it yet. And the hard part with that is everybody has a different definition of what old is. We have a 94-year-old patient that says, I'm not going to get hearing aids. I don't like the old people. And she's 94 years old. So, you know, her mindset is, it's all in where your mind is, but to understand that the body's connected and it's one. That whatever happens over here can also affect over here. And health conditions that we have don't affect just one area. It's not like, you know, we can't say, okay, with poor blood flow, it's only going to affect certain parts of our body and ignore the rest.
Right.
The the smallest vessels we have in our body are in our eyes and our ears.
Okay.
And when you think about, diabetes and eyesight, goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Diabetes and hearing loss go hand in hand because it's the smallest vessels we have in our body.
Okay.
And understanding that ears collect sound, brain processes it, and what happens in between needs good conduction. It needs the ability to carry good quality sound. And with that, when there's poor blood flow, with diabetes, the vessels they get hard. They can't expand. So that just restricts good quality blood flow to go through. And when our cochlea, which has 15,000 tiny little nerves inside of it, when it gets the signal from the ears, then sends that, from the cochlea to the brain, if the cochlea is if it's not good and healthy, it can't send the good quality, the signals that it needs to the brain for the brain to process.
Wow.
So for individuals who have type 1 or type 2, they're twice as likely to have hearing loss.
Wow.
It's a big number.
That is a huge number,
it's a big
twice
number.
as likely.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's amazing. And patients with pre-diabetes, from what I was reading, they also could struggle with this.
30% higher than those that have normal glucose levels. So it's one of those things where when you look at overall health conditions in society today, hearing loss is actually number 2 of all health conditions that are out there. Heart disease is 1.
Okay.
Hearing loss is 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So really understanding where health conditions are, where things fall, and really the most important thing is understanding that, from diabetes to dementia to over-the-counter and even prescribed medications, there's 200 that can cause hearing loss.
Wow, even medications.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Over-the-counter, and an aspirin regimen of 5 days a week or more can lead, it's 26% increased risk in hearing loss.
Yeah, a lot of information. I don't think that people realize. That
that's why I'm here.
You're enlightening us. Yeah, that's why Taylor is here.
I come on this show because I want to. It's really I want to educate people.
Yeah.
Because for so long, we've treated hearing loss is this thing over on the side. We don't have a American Medical Association or anyone like that that's out talking about this.
Right.
It's my job to get out and just make people aware of health conditions, how it impacts, but more importantly, then first step, what you can do, and then how to treat it.
And what can diabetics do, to ensure that they have the best possible outcome? Get tested.
First thing to do is get that free hearing screening.
Yeah.
If you've been diagnosed with type 1 or type 2 or been, pre-diagnosis, first thing, after you've met with your physician, work on getting that under control,
right,
is go get your hearing screened, find out if there is a tie between your diabetic issues and a hearing loss, and then also what you can do to move forward.
Yeah.
Treating it, getting the diagnosis first, but then we also have to make that next step of treating it.
Yes, super important. And I think, like you said, when people think, well, hearing loss is something that I don't have to deal with until I'm old.
Yes.
But, if you have something like type 1 or type 2 diabetes, you may want to get, your hearing checked earlier in life because of this.
You look at all when you look at, they talk about childhood diabetes, how it's on a trajectory that's, unheard of in our lifetimes. That's only going to lead to issues down the road as well. And, hearing loss will be no different. And, when we have issues like this, or we have noise exposure, or, whatever different factors that, health conditions or extra factors in life, our hobbies, our occupations, it happens when it happens.
Right.
We can't say, oh, I'm diabetic, but hearing loss won't affect me till later.
Right.
No, it happens when it happens. When the damage is done, and all you're doing then is you're delaying and even compounding the issue, especially when, we've talked about dementia before, that with an untreated hearing loss, you're 2 to 5 times more likely to develop dementia, that when you're not treating your hearing loss, you're causing other issues. So it might start with diabetes, but then by us not taking care of it and treating our hearing loss, it can lead to dementia. It can lead to cognitive decline. It can lead to so many other things that we have to be careful of, that we can't treat one and ignore another.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. Well, Concept by Iowa Hearing does offer those free screenings, as Taylor mentioned, at their locations throughout Iowa, including the location on East 53rd Street in Davenport and a location on Lincoln Way in Clinton, so close by. Of course, anytime you want to learn more, just visit iowahearing.com. As always, it's been enlightening. Taylor, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So much. Coming up on QCL, tips to avoid distracted driving. US Cellular is here to tell us about some smartphone technology that can keep us safe behind the wheel. Tomorrow on Quad Cities Live, June is Men's Health Month, and our Hy-Vee dietitian will join us to talk about foods that make a positive impact, along with certain screenings men should be taking advantage of.
Plus, one of the largest public art projects in Rock Island's history. Quad City Arts will be back to join us with one of the artists creating a giant mural in Arts Alley. That and much more tomorrow on QCO.
Well, our smartphones allow us to stay connected to our family members, our friends, our coworkers. It is important to stay disconnected when you're behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah, most definitely. Macy Bergman works for U.S. Cellular, and she is here now to give us some tips to keep us all safe. Macy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all have heard distracted driving. I mean, we always assume it's just a cell phone, but it's really much more than just your cell phone. We can have many different distractions while we're driving, and some of the things we might not even realize are a distraction.
Yeah. There's a pretty broad range of things that can be considered distracted driving, and it's defined by the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration. Kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
You got it, though. You nailed it.
Just as anything that distracts you from the road. So it could be eating or drinking, your phone, someone else in the car with you.
Yeah.
Just a ton.
Messing around with the radio.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Always.
Handing something to the kid.
Yeah, yep. Every day, snacks.
Distracted driving. Well, there have been a lot of campaigns to try and prevent distracted driving. Of course, we've seen a lot of them. So is the issue becoming worse? Is it getting any better?
Actually, there's been a little bit of an improvement. So from 2021 to 2022, we saw a 0.4% decrease in distracted driving time, according to some surveys.
So 0.4%. So yeah, we can see the downward trend right there. But obviously, we still have a lot that we can work on when it comes to distracted driving.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there are many things we can do. One of the biggest things is really just finding out the native features on your phones and how you can use them to keep yourself safe.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's important because while there's still progress to be made, a lot of it is because people fail to utilize these things that are available to them on our smartphones. Our smartphones are very, very smart. One of the features, I guess talk about the first feature that could be super helpful to people that's really easy to access.
Yes. So one is do not disturb while driving. It is native on an iPhone. The equivalent is driving mode on an Android. But this just silences calls, texts, anything distracting while you're driving, and it can actually turn on automatically as it senses you get in the car.
And we're kind of showing you that process that you can do on your smartphone as well. So one other thing that you recommend is connecting your phone, your smartphone, to your vehicle through Bluetooth, because if you do get a phone call, you're able to just say, answer call or read text to me or whatever it may be.
Yes, absolutely. So Android Auto and Apple CarPlay both work through Bluetooth, and some cars that are older can also be turned into Bluetooth capable by purchasing like a Scosche Bluetooth transmitter, as is shown on the TV here.
Oh, interesting.
I did not know that.
No.
Yeah, and so it's really cool. It kind of helps get that hands-free driving all enabled in a car.
Wow, that's great. So you can just purchase that. So it doesn't matter if your car has it or not.
Absolutely.
They've made it available to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so there's also a program called On My Way.
Yes. So On My Way is an app that actually pays you for your safe driving habits.
Jotting this down in my mind.
Right?
OnMyWay.com, get me some money.
Yes, absolutely. Why not?
Yeah. So how does this work?
So you would download this app on your phone, and then every mile that you don't talk, text, or use distracting apps, they will actually they essentially give you like a set amount of money for each mile.
That's an incentive.
Yeah, so you just have the app on during the time you're driving, and it kind of measures whether or not you're using your phone?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
They can also help some like smaller companies set up distracted driving policies for their employees as well. So they're well-rounded.
Very, very nice. Okay, so one thing that we can do as parents is help out by kind of establishing some rules with our loved ones before they get behind the wheel of a car. That's a big point. Is that something that you see often, parents like, creating those rules, or is it something that you're privy to, just being in your line of work?
Yes, so we actually see a lot of parents coming in to get their kids their first
Exactly,
phones.
yeah.
And they're like, what do I, how do I make sure it's safe? How do I make sure, I'm a part of like making those big decisions with my child? And so Screen Sanity and US Cellular actually partnered to make a Smarter Start toolkit.
Okay.
So it involves like a guide to a conversation where you can really kind of dig in on just how to be really responsible with those phones and have a good understanding with your child.
Just a good conversation. Yeah, so the website for that, for any parents that are interested, is on your screen right now, screensanity.org, and you can get that Smarter Start kit to help out with that conversation.
Yeah, and another really easy way to help with the distracted driving is passengers. Pay attention to what the driver's doing. My wife is very good at this. Not that I use my phone when driving, but if the kids are, needing something, oftentimes I'll reach behind and do that. And she'll be like, Kyle, focus on driving. So, I mean, passengers need to speak up as well.
Absolutely. I think you are, your own advocate there.
Yeah.
So definitely like, hey, let me help navigate your GPS for you, or let me change the music.
Yeah, let me be the DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a whole lot there.
Yeah, you've given us quite a few tips, and if you would like to get more tips on this, you can visit your local US Cellular store to learn more about what we just discussed. And for nearby locations, you can visit Cellular, that's easy to say, .com. Macy, this is a very important topic. Thank you for talking to us today about
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
that. And thank you so much for watching QCL.
Yeah, your local news at 4 is up next.